I'm Ken McElroy, partner in MC Companies.
Hi, I'm Ross McAllister, one of the principals of MC Companies.
Well, I started out because of financial freedom. I wanted time. That's what I wanted.
It's my life's work. I consider what we do a mission, and that is to provide high-quality, affordable housing to all of our residents and to positively impact the communities that we own and operate in.
So Ross and I met on a board called the Arizona Multi-Housing Association, and we were both board members, and he had his own company and I had another company, and I said, hey, let's meet for coffee, and we ended up merging.
Oh, we knew each other from, we've known each other since 1990 probably, I think. We were on the board of directors of the Arizona Multi-Housing Association. When he started his firm here in the Phoenix area and I was located in Tucson, we would talk periodically about what challenges we were each facing because we were in different markets and got to be good friends between those two.
Well, I think it works because Ross and I have very, very different roles. So he is in charge of tax and legal and construction, and I handle operations, and I'm more the growth side of the business and acquiring deals, et cetera. And so he likes to deal with the loans, and I like to deal with the equity and the investors. And so I think we've found ourselves in our own lanes and kind of moving along. The company's growing rapidly, and we have an incredible culture. And I think that's largely because we don't get in each other's way.
Well, I think it works for several reasons. One, we have total respect for each other's abilities. We are totally aligned in the way that in what we want to accomplish. I think one of the reasons it works is because we live in two separate towns and we don't get in each other's way. And we have no choice but to rely on each other and to give each other the space they need to do what they need to do.
So we have disagreements all the time, just like any relationship or any partnership, whether it's a marriage or work or whatever. And but they're always respectful. So in other words, whenever we have something that we want to do or don't do, we're listening. We're actually listening. We're not too fixed on our positions. And I actually believe in Ross, and I believe in what he's saying. And I don't necessarily always agree with him, but I respect where he's coming from, because I think he's always got a very good point. And I think he does the same thing. So we have an incredible relationship because we both listen to each other and we both respect each other. And overall, it's gone very, very well. In the entire history of 15 years together, I can count on one hand the times where we both have basically haven't come to an agreement.
We have disagreements all the time. Again, we never have any disagreement about the big things, or rarely do. And we've been known to yell and scream at each other, but we also, like I said, we have mutual respect for each other and how we feel, and we never let that waver. Through all of that, we discuss, figure out how to go forward from there.
I think what happens with most people is they get into partnerships too quickly. So without knowing the expectations of the other person. I've seen this over and over and over and over. And it's very, very hard to find a good partner like I have and we have. And I think that what happens is people, they're super focused on the money and they're super focused on the sales piece of it. Yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Then when it comes down to it, expectations aren't met. So in other words, somebody that's in charge of sales isn't selling, or somebody that's in charge of the profitability or the accounting, isn't handling that well. And so, or perhaps maybe it's buying things inside of the partnership, new cars, new houses, new this, new that, the direction on the cash. And I think with Ross and I, we were very aligned around that. This isn't my first partnership. It's not Ross's first partnership. And so you have to be aligned and you have to ask a lot of really tough questions and deal with those before you get into partnership. And I think what happens is a lot of times it's like the beginning of any kind of a relationship. When you meet somebody for the first time, it's all great, and then like a lot of relationships, if things aren't met during the course of the relationship, then it gets worse over time. If communication's poor, etc., things erode, and so you have to find somebody that's one, I think, very different than you and likes to handle things independently and also does them. and then meet regularly. We have this saying in our company that frequency of interaction is very, very important to any kind of a relationship. And so I think Ross and I are very, very aligned. So before you get into any kind of partnership, make sure that you grill each other and that you're not pushing people outside of their comfort zones as well.
I think you have to realize that people are people and that they have their own feelings and abilities, and they have their own things going on that you have to respect all the time. You have to be able to give them that space. You have to trust that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. I think it's important to be in partnership with people who are different than you and have different abilities. If you don't have different abilities, then you learn how to augment that and support it in another way.